Previously on the Unwed Husband. Successful Silicon Valley CEO Rob Sandler seems to have the perfect life until temptation enters the picture in the form of the company's young intern, Mary. What begins as one bad decision quickly grows into a tangled web of secrets, guilt, and consequences. As Rob tries to keep his worlds from colliding, the cracks in his marriage to Rhonda become impossible to ignore, and the cost of his choices is only beginning to unfold. Now it's time for the next installment. Grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's see what happens next. Chapter 5, Lover. Mary didn't just blur the lines. She redrew them in hot pink marker and dared him to color outside. By week 5, she'd programmed a custom ringtone on his phone, her voice purring, "Hey, lover," which startled him so badly in a meeting he nearly dropped his phone and his coffee. He changed it, but she noticed. Of course she noticed. "Oh," she said, twirling a pen between her fingers like a knife. "Don't want your real life to hear from your fun life?" He laughed it off. He was getting good at that, laughing off things that should have scared the hell out of him. Like how she'd casually asked what kind of cologne Rhonda bought him, then showed up wearing it. "I just want to see if you still kiss her with my scent on your neck," she said, grinning like she'd won something. He kissed her anyway. She started dropping strange phrases into conversation. "You ever think about just disappearing? If I deleted all my socials and moved to Portugal, would you come with me? If your wife died suddenly, I bet you'd be so hot at the funeral." He told himself she was joking, but her tone always hovered just north of sincere, like someone who'd watched one too many true crime documentaries and took notes. One night, lying on her thrifted velvet couch under a blanket printed with wolves, she turned to him and said, "I think we're soulmates. Don't you?" Her eyes glittered with something he didn't recognize. It might have been love. It might have been a warning. He didn't answer. Instead, he stared at her bookshelf, filled with romance novels, self-help books, and a single spine labeled hexes and how to make them stick. The thing was, he still kept coming back. Each week, he told himself it was the last, that he'd end it, that he'd come clean. And then she'd send a photo, just her legs in his work shirt, or a candlelit dinner with 2 forks and the caption "missing someone." And the shame would crawl into the back seat while lust took the wheel. Rhonda, meanwhile, had started leaving meals in the fridge labeled with Post-its. "Turkey casserole. Feeds 2 if you're hungry, or 1 if you're lonely. Leftovers from Sunday." Unlike our marriage, still good. She never confronted him directly, but her sarcasm had sharpened like knives arranged in a polite row. And Rob had become an expert at looking away. Stay tuned next week for Chapter 6 and the threat of blackmail. Subscribe if you haven't already to be the first to find out what happens next.